Hey folks, welcome to another AFTERBUZZ TV Shark Tank After Show. Tonight we're talking Raising Wild, Cookie Kahuna, Tech Dry, and Night Runner 270. I said that very weird. Find out why next.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Welcome everybody to another Shark Tank After Show here on AFTERBUZZ TV. I'm Cameron Lewis at the only Cam Chef, Twitter, Instagram, MySpace, all the other places. Zoe Hewitt, Chris Howard, what is up?
Hey, I am so excited because I tried 3 Jerks jerky, you guys. I finally bought it from last season. I was excited to try it. It was good, but not as amazing as I expected. If you want to talk to me about it, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Zoe Said What. That's Zoe Said What.
And we're 3 jerks up here tonight. This
Oh, there it is.
What a coincidence.
There it is.
How appropriate.
I'm Chris Howard. Reach me at Chris Howard Live on Twitter and Instagram. Also, reach out to me at Legendary Living Daily for daily tips, inspiration, motivation, and legendarylivingtv.com for YouTube.
Very legendary.
Very legendary.
Why? Let me ask you this, Chris.
Yes.
Because you seem like the resident expert. Maybe you can figure this out for me.
Yes.
Why didn't Zoe bring us beef jerky tonight?
I do not know. I think it has something to do with her feeling like she's single and like she doesn't have to report to either you or I.
I feel like you're right.
I'm not single. I'm in a relationship with both of you. Thank you very much.
You're not wrong, Zoe. But you should bring some. I'll bring some dude wipes for the cleanup.
Dude wipes.
And we'll give it a shot.
What did dude wipes look
That
like?
was from before you started
Oh,
with
was it?
us.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got they're
See, we
like
had
the
a
baby
secret
wipes
then.
for guys.
Dudes?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
they really called them dude wipes?
Yes.
Yeah, they're called dude wipes.
Yes.
I
Did
bought
they get
some.
funded?
Huh?
They
Did they
did.
get funded?
They
really
did.
They're in grocery stores. How do you think
Yeah.
Cam got them?
Ralph's
Yeah.
Baby
or
wipes for
your
dudes.
local grocer. By the way,
Yes.
have you both, before we get into episode 3, have you heard of a comedian named Eliza Schlesinger?
No.
Should we?
Yes, you should. She just got a late night show with Freeform, the ABC Family, what used to be ABC Family. Regardless, she has a special that just came out about 2 weeks ago called Confirmed Kills. It's a Netflix special. You guys have to go watch it because towards the end, she does a 10 or 15 minute bit on Shark Tank. And it's hilarious. She I think this is just the funniest idea. She talks about like what if they did Shark Tank live instead of edit the show. And it's so funny. You guys have
Really?
to go
Is that-
watch
huh.
it.
Can we find that on YouTube?
Huh?
Can we get it on YouTube, that piece?
I don't know if you can get that on YouTube, but the whole thing is on Netflix.
Okay.
So you guys should check it out. It's freaking hilarious. And it's kind of what I wish Shark Tank would be. Half part serious show as it is, half part trashy reality show.
Okay.
It would be, oh God, it's just so funny. You guys have to check it out. Anywho, episode 3, Raising Wild, Cookie, Kahuna, Tech Dry, Night Runner 270. Let's start with Raising Wild, first into the tank, seeking 100,000 for 20%. It's swimsuits, folks. I don't know. Zoe, first thoughts on this one.
I'm surprised they didn't get booted from the tank almost immediately. I mean, we've seen clothing before. We've seen swimsuits before.
Yeah.
There was nothing that seemed to set these apart whatsoever. The women were great. Don't get me wrong. If they're watching, Kara and Shelly, I thought you guys were fantastic. I loved you. I loved your
Awesome.
family.
Awesome.
I just wasn't sold on the swimsuits themselves. I'm sorry.
I just don't know, and Chris, tell me your thoughts as well, but I don't know what was proprietary about it. It just seemed like expensive swimsuits, designer
Right.
swimsuits.
No, I think you're right. Yeah, it just seemed. Although when they first started revealing them, the different designs and stuff, and they were talking about how they were contouring them for different women's shapes, I thought, oh, hey, maybe there's something. And I don't know enough about swimsuits to know. Are they all done that way?
Right,
Or,
exactly.
I just didn't know.
Exactly.
Perhaps as the resident female swimsuit
female,
expert,
yes.
Speak
they
for yourself.
do make. True. I realized as I was saying that I might not be actually, and in fact, I might be the least
Zoe,
expert at this table. In fact,
you have the floor,
Okay.
Zoe.
Yeah.
speaking as the resident swimsuit expert who buys female swimsuits,
Right.
maybe can I get that one?
You got that from
Yeah,
me. Yeah. We don't know what he does in his spare time. You know, that's
They definitely make swimsuits that have protective panels and things that help squeeze you in the right places and look a little better.
Sure.
So that seemed to be their big thing that they were talking about, like more coverage, more packaging, so to speak. And that does exist. The only thing that seemed new is the breastfeeding aspect.
I missed that part. What was the breastfeeding aspect?
They said that they also have swimsuits that are breastfeeding friendly.
That should be their whole business. That should literally be the only thing they sell.
Yeah, well, actually, you're right, which is, it's twisted, but you're right. It just sounds so weird.
Because
so when they have the nipples cut out?
If
I'm serious. What is that?
They aren't sex shop bathing suits.
No, but the baby's got to suck someplace.
Breastfeeding bathing
Where's the baby suck? I'm serious.
I know you are.
I'm sure it's a flap or something, Chris Howard. Oh,
you
my
would assume
goodness.
there's a flap. However, that said, bathing suits generally aren't so high cut anyway that it would be hard to
Just slip it
take
out.
out the
That's very
appropriate
true.
pieces
Right.
That's
and just
very
cover
true.
up with
it's
something
not a
else.
straight jacket.
The appropriate. Wait, take out the appropriate pieces. What are you talking about? You're just,
I'm keeping it clean.
Oh.
Thank you, Zoe.
okay.
Thank you. We have
Some of
10-year-olds
us,
listening.
Yeah,
we do. Oh God.
I
Get
just
them
made
off.
that.
Get them off of this.
But yeah, I mean, I do think that that's what they should have focused on, because $156, $138 to $156 for just an average, average, no offense intended, but an average swimsuit. It's a lot of money. I get mine at the Old Navy clearance rack, like $5-10 maybe. I know people spend $40-50, but 138, 156, which is why I'm actually happy. Nobody made an offer but Barbara. And when she did make the offer, she said it was contingent partially on them
a couple of weird
bringing
things.
that down below the 100. Yeah.
Yeah.
But bringing it down below the $100 mark, which I think is right on, because you start doing the math. It's like, ooh, God. I mean, that's what you pay for a dress or something,
Well, women's
How do you know
swimsuit.
women's clothing so well?
Well,
dresses.
I
for?
dabble.
I have to say, you guys might not be the women's swimsuit experts you think you are, because my last swimsuit, while it was not $156, was definitely pricier than I feel like I remember my swimsuit before that being. So
Right.
the prices are definitely more, and I'm sure you can probably go to Old Navy and get a
I
cheap
think
one. But
for-
mine I think was about $130 that I bought.
I think for a good swimsuit, women are willing to pay money for it because it's it's like a good pair of sunglasses or something. It's like you're going to pay a little bit extra for that because it's better quality, and you want to be seen in the best quality that you can be.
But let's
Exactly.
take that for a second and recognize that that is true. However, it's like people already sell this. People already sell $135
And
for
that's
a
my point. There is
Yeah.
already high-end. There are multiple high-end swimsuit lines that do these same things. Like I
Yeah.
said, the only thing I heard different from that was the breastfeeding aspect.
See,
The
well,
rest, they tuck already. They have all that.
for me, there just was they had no business model, no real sales, nothing to cause us to believe that they were going to have real sales, nothing to cause us to believe that they would know how to grow it if they, so there was nothing there really. They had designed some things which was nice, but if they've got nothing that would cause somebody to have certainty that they're going to be able to grow your money, why would you put it there?
Yeah.
All right. Absolutely. And I feel like, of all of the pitches we see in the tank, I feel like food and clothing are just really risky to get into to begin with.
Seems like a lot of competition, right?
Yeah. And I just have, specific to clothing for me, God bless all the people out there who can do it and do it successfully, but I have no interest because first of all, I don't think my style is that great.
Oh, what are you talking about?
Second of all,
Come on, you look nice. Yeah.
okay.
Was that you?
That's the one whistle I
That
can
was
do.
impressive.
Yeah.
Was that?
I can't even whistle
Wow.
on demand like that. Yeah.
But I don't know.
If you could, you might not be single.
No,
I think in terms of
I didn't
investments,
say I was single.
it's one of the riskier kind of things to do. What'd you think of the offers? What'd you think of the offers from Barbara? The 100,000 for 51%. Was she crazy? Is this too high? Is this insane?
Yes and no. I think it was a pity offer. I think that this woman hit on the exact right story, whether she had done research and already knew about Barbara's daughter's situation,
Yeah.
or if it was just a perfect moment of serendipity that she chose this story.
Yeah.
And I think that's why Barbara gave her the offer. And I also think Barbara maybe didn't completely want it. And that's why she made such a high percentage at 51%.
Yeah.
Well, I think that Barbara, at the moment she said, give me one reason to believe some story from your past, she was searching. She was willing to put the money in at that point because she's really stretching. And I think Barbara, Barbara likes these quirky investments that she just feels, she gets this gut instinct based on nothing that anybody else's gut instinct is based on. And so I think she was behind them just because of their pleas. And she told the story about her child. I don't want to belittle that. That says a lot about somebody to have the stick-to-itiveness to go through a situation.
Sure.
But Barbara's going to have her hands full, and without asking for she's going to be doing 51% of the work, unless she can direct these people to pick up their share of this. But it's a lot of work to go from where they are to take them any place significant.
Really, it feels like the difference between investing into a business and really just Barbara's just starting over.
Let's go start a business and
Absolutely.
find
And in the end, though, wasn't it a 50-50 deal? She did come down.
She did, yeah. So they countered at 35%. And Barbara said, I'll come down to 50% with optional future credit lines, which I think is...
nice.
That would have put me over the edge. It's like, okay, well, screw it. 50% is... I'm down.
Yeah.
See, with me, I've said this before, pretty much any offer in the tank, I'm like,
I'm in.
Let's just have success, and then I'll start another company.
Right.
And another company, and another company.
Well, that's like what Mark said, which
I was happy that he did say.
It was really good. And for anyone who has no idea because they didn't watch the show
Let's
or don't
not tell
remember, it'll be a surprise when you do watch.
When Mark said the thing about the stuff.
It's like our secret word of the day. We need bell. Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, for new business owners that need the guidance, that need the mentoring, and they need somebody to come in. Otherwise, you can imagine they're not going to go very far. Maybe they could open up their own little boutique and sell some stuff online, which is what they were doing already.
Right.
But they're not going to go very far unless they have a game changer like this. So I think that it was a smart deal. I like that Mark came in and kind of explained it to them and broke it down like that. For me, I wouldn't take a deal like that in a million years, just because I've been around the block enough to know that that can end up very, very bad.
Which, we also saw later on in tonight's episode with Wally Amos.
Yeah.
Which I thought was really interesting.
Yeah, exactly.
I do think Mark made a decent point, and again, it's a case-by-case basis, but instantly almost, that 50% of the business with Barbara attached is worth more than 35% of a business without Barbara attached. So I get it, but at the same time, Chris, you're right. It's like, well, you might be screwing yourself.
Right.
Just depends on the situation.
Yeah, I don't think they're, with all due respect, I don't think they're educated enough. And what I mean is skilled in entrepreneurialism for it to be, they could have given her.
Word.
Yeah, they could have given her 60-70%, and it would still be better off, much better off than they'd be.
I agree. Yeah. I completely agree. Although they didn't tell us how long they had been selling suits. They had said they had 130,000 total sales only using social media. So that was impressive, hinging on the fact that they didn't say how long it had taken them. Right. If that's 130,000 in like 2 months just with social media.
I can almost guarantee, I'm going to look right now, I bet their Instagram following is where they get most of that.
Oh, I'm sure.
24,000.
They have 24,000 on Instagram?
Yeah. That's really interesting.
And that's post-show.
That's post. That is true. That's post-show. But even then, I think Instagram is with the fashion world. It's a very interesting thing.
Facebook is where I used to do all of my sales. Like, I made a lot of money on Facebook, but Instagram, you see it coming up. Yeah, click the link. Do they have a click the link in the bio?
Yep.
Yeah.
Shelly and Kara, sisters, mamas. I really like what Barbara said about naming the swimsuits after the sisters. Those are nice touches.
I thought it was a little quirky, but
get out of here, Chris.
I thought it was
outvoted.
I thought it was one of those Barbara quirky things, but
no, why?
I'll only do the deal if you name one swimsuit after the sisters.
No, because she was giving them a story. She was giving you a reason to hook into these swimsuits, other than the fact that you could buy the same swimsuits elsewhere.
Okay.
What?
No,
What's that face?
No, I still think it's quirky, but I'm going to go with you.
I would have much quirkier stipulations if I was Barbara. Be like, but you have to dress me if I buy one.
Yeah, dress me.
You have to
sing the national anthem.
I don't know. You have to bring me food at the beach. I don't know.
But how did you love Barbara's comment? I only wear bikinis. Remember when they're handing out the suits?
That was interesting. And what if they were about to hand her a one piece?
They
Barbara.
were. Those were only one pieces.
I only wear bikinis.
I love Barbara.
Barbara's interesting. She's, but she has heart. And she invests with heart.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. You got to respect that. Chris Howard, in or out? Raising Wild.
Out. I'm wildly out.
Oh, dang. Zoe.
I would invest with them for something else because I like them and I don't want to say no to them, but I'm out.
I like that answer. I would give them an offer on the stipulation that they focused on the breastfeeding aspect of it. So there you go. And I would ask for a modest 85%.
Come
My
on.
business expertise. I've worn swimsuits, male swimsuits. All right, next in the tank, Wally Amos, the Cookie Kahuna. This I thought was terribly interesting.
What a cool guy. You know?
$50,000 for 20%. So, obviously, I hope you guys watched the episode, but if you didn't, just a reminder: Wally Amos, founder, creator of famous Amos cookies, no longer at all involved in the company, which I did not know.
I didn't either.
Turns out he had to get money many times and ended up diluting himself out of it, which is a bummer.
Yeah.
That's his name. And there was
And
a
his-
bunch of
and his
interesting things
face.
about this.
Yeah.
And the face.
Yeah.
I love Wally Amos. He's amazing. Interesting story how he transitioned. He was the first African-American agent at WME,
Yes.
That was
which
weird.
at the time was just William Morris. But
Yeah.
how cool is that? And he wrapped all these cool clients and all this stuff, and then he transitioned into this business. I don't know if it's a great strategy to start a competing cookie business that doesn't have your name on it to compete with the cookie business that does have your name on it.
Yeah.
It's confusing, risky, a lot of cookies out there. But he's in Costco in Hawaii. That's pretty cool.
Yep. That was the biggest thing. I don't know why, and maybe it was some sort of deal when he sold the famous Amos name, that he can't use his name whatever again. I mean, that's the big thing. Exactly. Why weren't they at least Wally Amos, the Cookie Kahuna? Something like that, at least. Exactly. Work his name in there.
Well, I think what's interesting, I wonder what the exact stipulations of that deal were.
We
right?
don't know, yeah.
Was it you're not allowed to have your name on a competing company in the same type of category? Or was it we have the rights essentially to the trademark of your name?
Exactly.
And if that was the case, why wouldn't you have some sort of royalty on that for life?
Right. Well, I mean, sometimes your companies aren't set up that intelligently. Like the name and the likeness. He could have lost the use of his likeness as well. I just know about this because I have two companies where my intellectual property have been held, and I'm in a legal battle right now. And luckily, I separated out the intellectual property from the core entity. So we had two different companies with it. Whereas some people, they go and trademark their name, for example, as an asset of the original company. Then somebody buys the company away, they lose control of it. Now they've lost
Because
control of their
the
name.
trademark, they didn't own the company owned it.
Right. Exactly.
That's really interesting.
Yeah,
That
and that's
is.
probably what happened. I would imagine. I don't think that it sounds like enough intelligence went into the, and that's not to demean him in any way. A lot of people,
no.
I made stupid moves that I didn't know about, but I think his name probably just got taken out from underneath his feet without him even knowing what was happening.
What a weird feeling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's like if we were doing the show right now and I couldn't introduce myself as Cameron and I had to do something else because somebody else had the trademark on it. That's
yeah.
weird.
That's weird. That's weird.
Well,
It happens.
what I am curious about and trying to Google right now, because I don't think he said, I'm curious when he lost control completely of his name and of the cookies.
Well, he said the company was sold 5 times, had 5
Right.
different owners.
But at what point did he actually lose complete control of his name?
They didn't actually
They didn't say that, right? That's what I'm
But
I'm wondering.
I think
Well,
he probably, it's very likely that
I
he
think
did.
it's probably like what Chris is talking about. It's probably structured that way, right? Where the company was sold 5 different times and the company owned his name.
Right.
And by the end of that last sale is when he
didn't
lost
own
just
anything.
control of anything.
Well, they trademarked Famous Amos.
Yeah.
And so that would have been trademarked. There's no way they wouldn't have done that. And then you got to wonder, did they trademark Wally Amos as well? Amos Cookies.
Instead of just Amos.
Right.
Okay, here we go. So it might have been as recently as 2001 that he lost all control. It says that was the most recent purchase. It's now a part of Kellogg's.
Oh,
And apparently on West Sunset Boulevard in North Formosa, there's a sign commemorating the first Famous Amos store in Los Angeles.
let's
So
go.
he got bought out by big players, and it sounds like he didn't come out of it with much anything at all, which happens.
Right.
You know?
Which is like, that's how, my goodness, that sucks.
Yeah.
But I love that. I mean,
What a great energy he had,
That's what I
though,
was going to
still, yeah.
say. He's not defeated.
Right.
He wants to keep doing it. He's, what they say, 80-something years old. Ridiculous.
85, I think.
85. You know, I loved hearing so much about his story, but I do feel the part of this pitch that we lost was what is the actual product? aside from it just being a cookie.
Yeah, they said it was pretty good when they tasted it, but they didn't look like they were over the moon, you know.
Right. What's special about it? What's proprietary about it? The margins were not good.
Oh, they sucked.
No.
It was horrible. He was selling them to Costco for like $7.
$7.89 for a
yeah.
1 pound bag to Costco. Cost $5.25 to make. Whoa.
See, I
And
think
he did say it was mostly packaging.
Yeah, which is even more shocking.
Yeah, but is it because if he could do it on a larger scale, the cost would go down? He just must be doing it on such a small scale that's why the cost.
They
for
still were
packaging is
terrible
so high.
margins, though. Oh, for the
yes.
packaging, it would go
I'm just
down,
saying,
yeah.
I'm surprised that didn't stand out more to the sharks. That's a really easy fix in the grand scheme of things. It's not that his ingredients were so expensive. They also struck me as really crispy cookies, and I don't know if someone
did.
said
Yeah.
that. And I'm not a big crispy cookie fan.
I'm not a big Famous Amos fan for that reason.
I like soft cookies. Yeah.
Yeah.
Chips Ahoy Chewy. I wonder. I mean, in my opinion at least, you guys tell me, he's not making enough money to be working with a co-packer.
With somebody that did just an isolated vendor.
Right. There's no way that's happening, right?
I don't. Yeah, I
I
don't.
want to know where he's making these things.
Yeah, that's interesting.
In his
yeah.
kitchen.
In his kitchen.
Well,
Who knows? Who knows? Could
Because
be
if
anything.
that was the case, maybe he should have used that as a selling point. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't
The
know.
original Wally Amos hand making these cookies, at least for now.
You know what I think he's going to end up doing is because there's so many places where he could distribute just in the Hawaiian Islands, like
Right.
through the ABC stores and that type of stuff. I'll bet you that's what he ends up doing, and he's not going to make a bunch of money unless he gets a partner that knows how to make money. Because but he was cute though. He's like,
yeah.
"Oh, don't ask me any questions about the numbers. I got them in my pocket.
You could probably that was awesome.
Yeah.
You could probably make a living just selling in Hawaii, though.
Probably.
not
Oh,
at least
yeah.
not currently with how it's structured.
Even without structure, he might be able to make that living. You know,
Yeah.
if he was selling enough a day
Of
because they got so
course.
much tourist activity
Which
and
is
stuff.
something
I
to be
think so.
said for that.
Yeah.
Hawaii is a state, you guys. You're talking
What?
about it like
What?
you're talking about it like it's a tiny city. Like there are enough tourists in that one spot. Like that's
No,
like
but
saying,
it's
that's-
isolated. It costs
Yeah.
so much to get things
To
there.
get there, but I'm
so
saying-
if you have a business that's only in Hawaii, it's like, oh, screw it, yeah.
I'm just saying that you could definitely make a very good living, like selling just in California. So I think that selling in Hawaii, yes, he could make a.
But to
very
grow
good-
another famous Amos type brand, I don't see that. Especially and with the name, he's already Coffee
Right.
Kahuna. Most people don't even or the Cookie Kahuna. Well, he could do
It
a
does
coffee
remind
Kahuna
me of
too.
coffee, though.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
should do a Coffee Kahuna then too.
Yeah.
Kahuna Coffee. I think there already is one.
There is.
Maybe that's
Actually,
why.
there is.
Coffee.
That sounds good. Let's
There
create
is.
it.
I think,
Trademark that now.
Yeah. Now.
So I'm like 90, I'll say 93% sure. I think I've met him before. In Florida, there's a place called Give Kids the World for terminally ill kids. And I had a friend who was volunteering there, and I went, and I'm pretty sure he was there signing his book.
Nice.
So, again, not positive, but I'm pretty sure. This was a while
cool.
ago. So
That's cool.
that's my
Nice.
famous Amos story.
Let's just say it is. We'll make it news right now.
Hi, Wally. Zoe says hello.
Yes, remember me?
So he did not get a deal. Heard a nice anecdote from Barbara, which I thought was just
Yeah.
insane. Merrill Lynch offered her $50,000 for what's the name of her company again? The Corcoran Group.
Yeah, that's what her name.
She said 15 years before she sold it, essentially. And $50,000, she said, was like God coming down and kissing her, which, like,
Yeah.
I get.
Right.
But it's crazy that Merrill Lynch decided, because Barbara was all for the
was ready,
sale.
yeah.
Merrill Lynch decided not to make the purchase. 15 years later, Barbara sells the company for $66 million.
Wow.
What in the hell?
Just divine
Yeah.
providence.
Wow. I'm hoping that some choice I've made right now,
Yeah.
we can look back at this 15 years from now. I'm like, hey, remember that time I invested in that swimsuit company just as a joke? But then this happened.
Remember those radio snippets you got outside from Chris and Zoe?
Yeah.
That made me $66 million.
But it's
better get a
interesting
cut.
to think about how such a simple thing, just one thing, could have just completely changed the
decision.
trajectory of everything. It's so insane.
I think about that a lot with news stories sometimes, that one decision, right, can change the course of your life so much.
Yeah.
News stories. What do you mean?
I would
Just any kind of
anything,
decision.
yeah, like where people make like one poor decision that in and of itself really isn't necessarily such a bad thing, but it turns out to be
You know what?
pretty
I was
horrible.
watching last night the Amanda Knox story on Netflix.
Yeah.
And that's like she
There's-
decided to move to Italy. You know, that one decision, though, that changed her entire life. It's
Yeah.
true. Yeah.
I could write a tweet right now that ended my career.
Really?
The click of a button.
Oh, I thought you
all could.
you could write one now that ended your career before.
Oh.
It's like, shit, this is getting weird.
Like Inception.
Time travel!
It's like Shark Tank Inception.
I just did the Timeless show before this. So
But I also enjoyed, so there was no deal, obviously, in this
Yeah.
one. Sorry, Zoe, I knocked your computer there.
You didn't, did you?
You might want to use some Tech Dry. I think I spilled some water.
that was such a good transition.
I know.
He,
Except we're
I
not
liked-
transitioning.
yeah, Not yet.
It was like a seed.
I liked Mark's little thing at the end there, which I thought was a nice little touch after the picture's over. Just kind of explaining.
Well, explain the story.
Because, you know, if you're stupid like me, I didn't get it 100% until Mark really kind of spoon-fed it to me. So that was nice. Thank you,
That
Mark.
was nice.
Thank you, Mark.
An educational opportunity.
Yeah.
I thought that was a good choice from the producers. I don't think that was an organic, let me just sit around and tell you guys
Oh, yeah,
that.
absolutely not.
But I agree. I think
Yeah.
it was a good decision.
Say this.
By
Tell
the
it to
way,
the sharks.
don't you
Yes.
guys like, I really like being able to hear the off-camera, all right, 3, 2,
That's neat.
open the door.
Yeah.
No, I hate
lo-
it. I'm
I
so glad you
love
brought
it.
it up because I was going to say something. No,
don't
I
like that?
hate it. Hate
Really?
it with a passion.
It breaks the suspension of disbelief.
The professionalism and the flow, and I just feel like a lot of it is like, okay, what are we gonna do back here? And it just comes off as cheesy.
I
So
think
then when they
it's
come
great.
out, I feel like they're not as professional.
I think
it
it's
totally
cheesy
turns me
to
off.
not show it.
Oh,
No.
good one, Cameron.
So for the past
This
7
is right now.
seasons,
This is right now where the line comes up between me and Zoe. We start walking around going, okay, you have 2 minutes to respond.
There you go. 2 minutes to respond.
But I like because, like, I don't know, it's 2016. We all know how the sausage is made. Let's stop pretending like it's not done this way.
Grab him by the sausage.
Oh
grab
my
him by the
gosh.
jerky.
Grab him by the jerky. I don't know. I kind of like it
Well, those 3
for the
jerks
same
jerky.
reason that I like. So I went. This is a complete random anecdote,
Okay.
but I've been to The Price is Right several times, and backstage as well. I've interviewed at that show like 3 times.
Oh.
This close, everybody.
Interviewed to go on the show or to be behind
work at the show.
To work at the show. Got it.
But behind the doors are so freaking loud. Like these things are like when they open them, and there's people like pull the door, and you would just never know. It's hilarious. So, anyways, it reminded me of that. 3, 2, 1, send them in. Walk the tank.
I think that's kind of cool.
I like
Shows
it.
you the behind the scenes, lets you in. It makes you feel like family or like you
Dislike,
you know. Okay.
sell, not investing.
Well, let's go around the table real fast from the cookie kahuna, Chris.
Amos. You know what? I think he might be. If it depends on if they can use the brand of him. That's the problem, and we don't
Yeah.
know. That's the piece that we're missing.
Yeah.
Because he could be worth, like doing some sort of, what do we call it, aqua vesting or something like that, where you invest in him and
Right.
you do something with it and you build it up. I don't like
Yeah.
the brand he's
I
using.
thought Aquavest was a life vest.
Yeah, kind of
company or
like, but
something.
invest in him and
Yeah.
so there might be a deal to be made there, but I'm not in on what was offered.
Okay, Zoe.
I'm in with a Barbara contingency. I'm assuming these are good cookies, but I think his brand is enough to sell it. So I am in pending how can we use his
Investigation.
name? Yeah.
Yes.
And can he name some of the cookies after his sisters?
That's not a bad idea. I am going to be out, but I will give Chris Howard $50,000 for the rights to legendaryliving.com, and I'll never give it back.
You need to take his name too.
Yeah.
I already own that. That was a couple episodes ago.
And Fantasy Stats Guru is back with us in the
Yeah.
chat, so thank you. We love it.
Fantasy
And
Stats.
Fantasy Stat says that he likes the behind the scenes stuff, but out on the cookie business.
Thank you, Fantasy Stats Guru.
No thank you from me.
Well, Zoe, since you're bitter about this,
As I alienate.
why don't you bring it back by telling the people where they can find our podcasts?
You can find us on iTunes. You can rate us. You can give us 5 stars. You can say, aren't we wonderful? Because we really are. You can also find us on YouTube. You can subscribe. You can leave us messages. Click that thumbs up. And I think that's everywhere.
That's about it.
You can
Share
find
it
us
with a
on
friend.
social media. We're just wonderful like that.
Tell the people. Tag a shark.
Yeah.
Tag a shark?
Let them know we're on the. I kind of see the double entendre there.
Yeah.
All right,
Shark
number
Tank.
3, episode 3, season 8 of Shark Tank. Eat of the tank, check dry. Seeking $500,000 for 5%.
Is this an
Holy
accent?
shit.
You sounded like you were like on
trying to
one
Johnny
of those National
Carson it up.
Geographic shows or something.
This is his audition for The Price is Right.
Oh, I'll give you that one some other time.
I'm gonna send you the tape.
I will send the tape. So this is the machine that brings your tech back to life from the pooper. If you drop it. Have you ever dropped a phone in the toilet before,
No, but I know someone who did.
Chris?
I'm sure I've dropped other things in the toilet before, but I don't know about a phone.
What about
We all
you?
have
about you?
dropped other things in the toilet
Yeah.
other than the phone. But sorry,
I did
so
not
gross.
mean
Oh,
that.
I didn't even
So
get
gross.
that.
Low hanging
He's trying to
fruit.
make us picture things.
I have never dropped my phone in the toilet, but I've done like I drop it 1,000 times
Yeah.
and catch it. You know,
Or
like
don't
when you're
catch it.
roller skating
Oh,
and
your
you
phone.
fall for
Okay.
like a minute and a half.
When you're roller skating?
Yeah.
Do you live in the 80s?
Yes. But you know what I mean? Like you're slipping like, wah! And you actually never fall until like 3 minutes later.
Right?
I did that. I do that with my phone where I'm like,
Yeah.
it's like a wet bar of soap,
I get that.
but I've
done
never
that.
dropped it in the toilet. Why? Because I value my phone's life more than my own.
Oh, it's true. I'm so paranoid when I go to the bathroom and I have my phone on me. I'm like,
Do you sit there with your phone? I'll go in with my phone because my light doesn't work for some reason, and we still haven't changed the bulb. So like I'll go in there. The phone lights the
You
way.
need to get an Illumable.
yes!
You get
your
a point.
toilet.
You
I
get a point.
totally
Or little
want
lights
one.
for my tennis shoes.
Yeah.
Ah!
Yeah. There it is. Can
But
you
it says
imagine?
I'll like
Throw on
use
your
the phone.
slippers in the middle of the night. Oh my god.
But I haven't dropped the phone in the toilet. But I do. I bring that phone everywhere, and it does go into the bathroom with me.
Well, thank you very
I
much.
think
Yeah.
this is
I
gonna
might,
be
I might be asking to end this relationship.
this is gonna be a quick one for me, I think.
Okay.
So let's start with Chris. What do you
Yeah,
think?
it's pretty. It's kind of a quick one. You know what? I really appreciated what Barbara said when
Me too.
Yeah,
100%.
she said that the technology would likely become obsolete because phones are becoming. I just got the new iPhone 7 right here.
I like this product placement. And
This
no
is
one
a
even
episode
gave
of the
that to
Shark
you.
Tank
iPhone 7, I got
podcast.
it right here, and it has no hole to stick a headset. Believe it or not.
Yeah, which
Oh, because
is
it's Bluetooth only.
Yeah, and they said it's almost water resistant, and that's probably they
see
got rid
that?
of that hole, but that hole's important.
Wait, what goes? Oh, is that
There's
the
another
charger
hole.
Well, that's just the charging hole. Oh, there's another hole besides the charging hole?
No.
Speaker hole.
Speaker hole. Oh, but there's no
Camera
yeah,
hole.
You can't stick a headset in it.
Interesting.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's
Which
almost water resistant.
I'm not a fan of that, but
I'm not a fan either.
The Bluetooth
but-
I'm a fan that it's water resistant.
Oh, I'm a
Me
fan
too,
Bluetooth
yeah.
only because with the older phones, even mine would always die in that. Why can't I speak? The headphone connector because it moves around or you're in and out with it so often, and that sounds so dirty. But
No, but
that's that was always the part of my phone that died. So
When,
I
when
never
you say
do
died, that means it wouldn't work anymore,
Right.
or it killed your battery.
Oh, it just
both.
won't work.
It just wouldn't work anymore. And then if I can't use my headset, I can't use my phone, and that was the end of that.
We didn't think dirty.
But I agree with you, Chris. Agree with Barbara. So many things are water resistant now.
Right.
There's many phones on the market that are water resistant. Not only that, I feel like it's pretty common knowledge if you stick your wet things into a bag of rice or something that you're good.
Really?
And
I didn't know
yeah,
that.
You didn't?
No.
Thought
yeah,
everyone knew that.
this computer right here.
Really?
I was laying in bed using it, spilled a whole glass of water on it.
You did?
Yep, ran to the kitchen, put it in a bag of rice for 3 days. I'm using it right now.
You're kidding me.
Wow.
Huh.
Because the rice does the
Yeah.
same thing as the heat.
Yeah.
It soaks up all the moisture.
Interesting.
But what's different is that the heat can do it instantaneously. The
Right.
rice
Right.
can't suck it out as
Now-
fast and in the
Right.
crevices and things.
the
So.
biggest speed bump on this, and we never got a direct answer. Because there's really not. It's not like perfect science, right? On how long you can go.
Right.
Right.
When this is still even possible. They said it's best in the first 24 hours. You bring your device, you put it in, you make it happen. They've had it been successful for as much as a couple of days.
Yeah.
But
Because it does seem like the ship option would probably be the best option. Just have a really big one where you ship everything to,
Yeah.
or
right.
yeah.
Well, I guess the issue with shipping is if you don't know exactly how many you'll be getting in and you only have
Yeah.
that limited window. And so if they're coming in daily, you basically would have to use
Yeah.
Or
get
just
them in
build
the
up and-
many
You know, they never-
the same moment they arrive, basically.
And they
because of an
never,
overnight
Zoe, they
shipping.
never said how long it takes
Right.
for the phone to heal.
True.
Right.
Is it a 24-hour I mean, I have no idea.
Right. I
we
imagine
were
it's
sold
fast.
that it's quick. I think
And
the illusion, at least, was that it was quick. But
I think it's a good
wonder if
thing.
we
I
can
just don't
find
see how
out.
people could make, if people are they're charging $69 to do, because their model, the way they had it was
High.
they were hoping that a bunch of retail storefronts would buy these things where you could go, like if you go to get the place where you get your phones fixed in the mall or whatever, and you
yeah, right.
go and hand it
Almost
in.
like a kiosk or Redbox
Right.
or something like
Right.
that. Yeah.
So so they're hoping to sell these things to them. I don't know.
But,
It
I
just
mean-
seems far fetched to me, and it seems like they will be obsolete after a while.
I'm going to do the math on this. So they're in currently, they said they're going to launch in 600 stores, quote unquote.
They got
We'll see if that happens.
quote unquote order, but then but they also said that if it doesn't work, you don't get charged. So
Right.
they're going to put them in their stores free, is what they're saying, which
So-
means they're going to have a huge production cost.
The
Right.
revenue share was somewhere at 60%. Is that correct?
Let's see. Hold on. The revenue share was
16.
Well, I couldn't tell.
16? I couldn't tell what he said.
Okay, me too.
89
I
rent per
rewound.
month. So they rent the machine.
Right.
At $89
No,
a
no,
month.
80 rent. I have.
Oh, 80. Okay, maybe it's 80.
80.
Yeah.
Plus 16%.
Or
So let's just do
60,
that.
right?
Let's just
I
do a
think it's
quick
16.
math
I
on,
think so,
on the
too.
part that we do know, which is
Okay.
82 stores, $80 a month per store. That's only $6,500.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
Well,
not
but
a lot of money.
The rent, though, but if you're assuming they're going to do a lot of business, what's 16% of 69?
I mean, let's see.
Is that like $12 or something? Maybe 14?
$11?
How many people are walking in those stores though? I mean, we just,
Right.
we
With that
went
issue.
there in the mall the other day to have one of our phones fixed, and there's not a whole lot of traffic. They're doing
Right.
other types of things too. There's not just all iPhone fixing.
Yeah.
or,
Yeah.
But I mean, now there's a similar business that has found a successful way to carve it out, which is the screen repair business, which
Right.
is insanely successful for some people.
Mm-hmm.
But it's around the same amount of money, maybe
Right.
just $10, $15 more to replace the whole screen. I feel like I would be more comfortable paying that amount of money for the screen repair and not necessarily for the water. I have no idea why.
Yeah, that's
But I
interesting.
mean, well, because you're going to continue to use it. But I mean, the water is really because you want to capture what's on there. Right? For me, like if you, 'cause,
Yeah, that makes sense.
yeah, I want the information on my laptop, and I don't want it to be lost. I guess some
Right.
people just wouldn't care.
Maybe they
But you
should
don't want to also
emphasize that
spend the
point, though.
money on a new
maybe.
laptop or phone. I mean, like your phone's expensive. You don't want to buy another one.
Maybe
Yeah,
they
like
should
you get
emphasize that
insurance
though,
on these
because
types of things, though,
you
with the
just
iPhone store.
you just
I don't buy that.
differentiated, Chris, for me the difference between this and the screen repair business.
Right.
Which is the screen repair, you always are going to have your data. Your screen's just effed.
Right.
This is if you ever want to see those pictures again,
Right.
you need this money to go and fix this thing. Maybe that's how they should position
Maybe.
themselves.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I was maybe gullible about it. I thought it was a great idea right up until Barbara also made that point that with the new technology, exactly, more is becoming waterproof and water resistant. And I think you can probably buy waterproof cases for your phone as well.
You can.
So-
I think at $60, what's the most popular?
That OtterBox?
OtterBox.
Oh,
yes.
Otter?
Yep. You can get waterproof, shockproof, all kind of like
Right.
earthquake,
Right.
run over with a monster truck proof.
You know what I just
OtterBox
bought
case.
recently because people can hack your phone and listen to you and turn
Mm-hmm.
it on and stuff. So I bought these little Faraday cases that you put it in so that no radio waves can get in or out. But yeah, seriously.
I
So-
know. This is just like, to me, it's
true.
that same fear mongering as the guy
Fear-mongering.
from last season with,
With
the
the
little.
wallet thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that's great, but like, do you really think that people are next to you going, "What is he saying?" I mean, you're not
in
Hillary
my
Clinton.
case, in my case, yes, I did get hacked, and I had
Well,
people listening. But for the
but
average
why?
person, I
That's
just-
my bad, Chris.
yeah. No, I had to get them because
thought I was
being
sending you a
hacked.
tweet.
then,
Yeah,
yeah.
I got
does
targeted,
happen.
so I had
It does
every
happen.
device targeted. Yeah, but it's not for the average person. It's not as big a problem.
The rest of us
I'm
are
not
only
saying that
average
you're
compared
average.
to you.
Non-legendary living
For
people.
non-legendary
What did you just do
people.
to me?
I put the coaster on your
What
head.
the heck is going on?
Someone's getting silly in here.
we have to get past this tech drive business, but they did end up getting an offer from Kevin, a loan for $500,000 at a 13% return, 5% equity stake, pay it back in 36 months. I think that was a very fair deal considering they've already raised $2.2 million.
Right.
Yeah.
So I feel like they made a good deal.
Do you see when they said that they had raised that $2 million, that they were like,
Yeah.
that was such a turnoff to them.
A lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fantasy Stats Guru says, yes, that's called an OtterBox, and they call it the life-proof case.
There
for
it
the
is,
phones.
Fantasy
So there you go.
Stats Guru. Chris
Thank you.
Howard, in or out, tech drive.
Out.
Zoe Hewitt?
If it weren't for Barbara, I'd be in, but I'm out.
I will agree with Zoe. I think there's money to be had with fear mongering, but Barbara just blew it out of the water. Last but not least, in the tank, number 4, Night Runner 270, 250,000 for 10%. Personally, I think this was a win. Yeah. I think this was one of the products, the first products we've seen in a while where it's like, okay, here's the next Scrub Daddy.
Right.
Like, here we're going to sell the piss out of it.
It's good.
It's a good idea. It's a good idea. Even if this is the kind of thing people buy, just like the bicycle lights sometimes, that they don't even use. Yeah. But they have it just in case they do go night running.
I think everybody should have it. I mean, when you walk
it's not a bad idea
on your shoes.
I agree. Like, and I agree with Kevin, which was positioning the industrial use. And, using the positioning for the industrial use and the safety use and all that kind of stuff. I think it's great.
Yeah, I agree. And it's hard for me to believe this doesn't exist already. I feel like it does. And I kept racking my brain, doesn't this exist? But I think I'm just thinking of the light that goes on the helmet. But I think too, back, like I used to have one of those itty bitty book lights. I don't even know if they exist anymore. Remember them? They would hook onto your book so that you could read in a dark place. Yeah. Because I'm a big reader. So little lights have been around. And it is surprising no one has thought to put little lights on your shoes before.
But,
I think that go ahead, Chris.
Well, I'm surprised nobody asked about a patent because I don't know what's patentable about it. Whether
it has to be the design.
It would have to be the design and the kind of the 270. But if that to me would be key. I was just shocked that nobody asked about that.
And it has to be the design, and I would think, however, which they didn't get into great detail about, however it's fixated on the shoe.
Right.
There might be something proprietary there.
Did you say affixated?
Yes.
Yes.
Do you mean fixed? Fixed?
Fixed.
Huh? Affixed?
Affixed? Whatever.
I don't think
it's all the same. Asphyxiated. I did not say asphyxiated.
You did,
might
actually.
have had the
You
blend.
did say that.
I said affixated, not
You said
asphyxiated.
you should grab them by the affixation.
You know what, Chris Howard? I will buy your name.
Okay, yeah,
Just in spite of you.
For $50,000.
That's a low price to sell your soul to the devil. I do.
The lead kahuna.
I'm going to make a prediction about this one, though.
Yeah.
Oh, a prediction.
I think they're going to have 2 other versions of this come out. One with a camera, and the other with Fitbit technology in it. Just makes sense. An option that can track your mileage and track your calorie count and your GPS location. Why not? I think they'll add that.
Why not put it on your shoe? Okay.
Yeah. Interesting.
I'll make a different
I could see
prediction.
that. Sure.
Like,
It's a show of predictions
No,
tonight.
I kind of look at it like, yours may be better than mine. But why don't they license it to tennis shoe companies that just build them into the shoes? And
because of the battery issue. Right?
Yeah.
Because didn't they say that that's what they need to work on is getting the battery to last longer? Right now, I think it lasts only 4 hours.
For the night shift version of it.
Right.
But the shoe companies could sell the batteries too. I don't know if that would, like, if they were built into the shoes, you go and you get your batteries and you put them in. Like,
but
if they run out, it might get.
I think for a selling point, you buy new shoe when the shoes wear out.
Right.
You would throw the light away.
Yeah.
So I think
that's
the upfront cost of buying the shoe with the light would be too high to have to pay for that again and again and again. It would be
cost prohibitive rather than because if they got to attach.
Because this is essentially a one-time purchase.
But if you bought them, do you think that, like, if you had to go and attach the light on your shoe every time, would you do it?
That's the thing. Because
I think if I had to pay for it, what is it, $60?
Yeah.
$60 one time versus paying an extra $20 for the next 10 pair of shoes.
Right.
I think I would do that math up front.
Yeah.
And be okay with attaching it, but I feel like some people might not.
Like, I wouldn't. I think I'd buy it, but never attach it. Whereas if I had the ability, if I had the ability to, whenever it got dark, see all of a sudden without having to reach for my phone. What?
Nothing. It just sounds
like,
funny.
It's not like superhero see, but like.
That's exactly what it sounded like, I think.
Have the ability all of a sudden.
If I could fly like Superman, I would be in.
Pay the $20 or douse my head in chemical waste.
Are you the Joker?
He's Two-Face. Well, there you have it.
Okay.
Zoe, any other thoughts on this one?
I think I'm all thoughted out.
How about the friggin' fight over this one?
Oh yeah, that was interesting.
That was crazy.
Everybody was like 10%. Oh, go back down to 10. Oh, I'm gonna intimidate you. Actually, no. I'm gonna go back down to 5. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that.
We'll go out and talk. Now it's all changed.
yeah.
Oh, it's changed again. Yeah, that was like.
I think they made a mistake though.
Who's they?
The people.
The people.
Renata and
I don't
Doug.
think Robert was the right person for this one.
Really?
Who would you have gone with?
I would have gone with the joint deal. I would have done. They ended up going with Robert $350,000 for 15%. Now that was $250,000 plus $150,000 as a loan.
Right.
I would have gone. Where was it? I would have gone Kevin, Lori, Robert. I think that was.
Yeah,
that's
if they could have got all 3 sharks
surefire
in.
win.
Yeah.
But that was never on the table, was it? Or did
Yeah.
I?
They did. They put it on the
yeah,
table
right.
and then
For 250
and
for
then
30,
walked
yeah.
out.
Walked.
At the 30, right?
Yeah,
would've
no, I
done
think the
that
joint
deal.
deal only came in after they walked back in.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that was the new offer,
Yeah.
right?
But then Lori abandoned them.
Yes, Lori abandoned them almost
That's
instantly.
the deal I would have done.
Because of the
Yes.
30%.
Robert has the knowledge of
Yeah.
the jogging. Lori has the knowledge of the QVC and the product. Kevin has.
As the
he wants to
safety
go into
and
the industrial and safety.
industrial,
Yeah.
yeah.
Ah man.
And
Industrial
Kevin,
safety seems huge too.
Yeah, and
so
Kevin
Does
knows-
Yeah.
because you think
Yeah.
as soon as they said construction workers at night,
They said
holy
exactly.
shit.
Yeah, they all lit up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Kevin knows QVC too, so if I had to pick one, I think if Kevin or Lori, probably would have been my bets.
Because the safety thing's a have to have.
Yes.
You know.
Exactly.
Yeah. Whereas the running is kind of a like. I'd like to have running shoes with
Yeah.
loads.
But I guess on the flip side, if you're going to make it safety, then you have to convince all these businesses to invest in it. Now,
But business invests in
because-
shit like that all the time, and they have, they don't. They'd rather not have their people falling off and hiking up their insurance
And
premiums.
once there's enough, I think once there's enough education on the product and
Right.
or the problem, they're almost backed into a corner
yeah, you almost
by
have to have.
all kinds of
Right.
people.
But see, I feel like you have to first establish that there's a problem. So let's say, for instance, security guards. So if in a company's 20-year history, they have not had problems with security guards tripping in the dark, now you're going to convince them they have to invest X number of dollars to buy these and supply to their security guards. Why are they going to invest presumably tens of thousands of dollars when in 20 years they've never had a problem?
Yeah, no, I think I agree. I think it is a case by case basis, but I do think on some level, just the example of like construction workers, just because that one's fresh on the brain, they have life insurance policies
Right.
out the butt, because that's a pretty common thing that happens is people getting hit at night. And so I think it depends on the business. I think on some level, you're right, and on some level, I'm right, and
Well, no,
we'll be okay.
I think it's a good product. I was just
Yeah.
bringing that up.
No,
See,
valid
I
point.
just went all weird
Valid
and
point.
dark in my head, and I think, oh, they could hire people to go out and create accidents.
Conspiracy theorist.
I do agree with you
joking.
that it's hard to predict how long it would take for people to
convince people.
To
you mean,
convince people.
to invest.
Maybe it's 6 months, maybe it's 10 years from now. Either way,
I think there's a
it's a
huge
win.
market.
Well,
Yeah.
essentially, it's insurance. So you're convincing
Yeah.
people to be scared.
right.
I mean that's really what it
No,
is.
I'll
You're
tell you
convincing
what.
them your company has not had a problem in 20 years, but just think you could save yourself millions of dollars if this happened just once. So why not invest?
But all companies think that way because they and the reality is that there's accidents all the time, and hence the reason why insurance is so important. Because if you have a company and you don't have insurance, one thing will take you out. So there's blankets of insurance that you just must get if you're going to be serious.
Of course, you have insurance, but this is an added thing. And if it's not going to make your policy go down, Fantasy Stats Guru says I work at a place that would totally buy into getting these for industrial safety. That's where the money is.
You know how we fix this problem, Zoe?
How?
We add a pepper spray attachment to this thing.
How will you get it off of your shoes on time
you
to
just-
spray someone?
No. You train yourself to be able to get your legs high enough to spray somebody in the face with your foot. That's the name of the game, folks.
That's the name of the game.
Chris
He
Howard,
does have a point.
Night Runner / Night Shift 270. Are you in or are you out?
I'm in on this one, although I'd ask for a greater percentage equity.
Okay, Zoe Hewitt.
Totally in.
I'm in as well. You guys want to,
We can partner up on it?
threesies on this one?
Yeah, I don't
Only
know.
stipulation.
I don't know.
I don't think I
Only
need you to.
stipulation. I own both of your names.
She says she doesn't need us.
Yeah,
Oh.
I don't think I need you to for this deal.
She's totally single on this
I
one.
believe you.
I've
You
got
don't
it
need us
handled.
for this deal.
I've got it handled, you guys.
I put more money in you than myself in that regard, Zoe. Okay, well there you have it. The update,
It's like a non-update
It's
update.
kind of like Shark Tank stroking its own ego there.
Yeah.
But we're okay with that. You know, all happy thoughts to everybody out there in America.
Damon and the president are like this. That's the update.
Yay.
That's basically the update. Yes, thank you.
That is. Back to you.
Played, Chris.
Chris Howard, tell the people they can find you.
Find me on Twitter and Instagram at Chris Howard Live.
Wow, there it is. Zoe Hewitt.
Hi, I'm Zoe Hewitt, and you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Zoe Said What. That's Zoe Said What. You can also find me on YouTube at Zoe Hewitt Hosting, where I do a weekly movie analysis show.
What'd you see?
I saw The Girl on the Train.
Oh,
How
it
was
good?
that?
Technically fantastic, enjoyable, not at all.
Emily Blunt didn't do well, did she?
She was amazing. No, her acting was fabulous, but there were
That makes me
no
happy.
characters that you could identify with or feel sympathetic for. So by the end, it was like great performances, great cinematography, but
Is it worth watching?
it's not enjoyable
Did
in that
you,
regard.
did you like Sicario?
I know.
Oh, I like
Well,
that.
there you have it.
Yeah.
There you have it. You can watch the rest of Zoe's scathing reviews on Emily Blunt's work.
I loved Devil Wears Prada, for the record.
Oh yes, that's a great one.
That was like
I have to ask
20
you
years
what,
ago.
I have to ask you what you thought of Sully after.
You guys still
I'll
both
watch your
have,
review.
you both
Oh,
have to
off
watch The
camera,
Lobster.
thanks.
You both have to watch The Lobster.
It's supposed to be fantastic.
Oh God, I did.
Oh,
What
wasn't
a
it fantastic?
wacky movie.
It's
I loved it
fantastic,
though.
Yeah.
Imagine the first day. Yeah, we're still going, folks. The first day on set.
Yeah.
The first scene they shoot of that movie, you have to imagine everybody's going, "Are we sure about this?" Anyways, folks, I'm
great.
Cameron Lewis. You can find me at the Only Cam Chap, Twitter, Instagram, all over the interwebs, Facebook.com/the Only Cam Chap. I don't know, just Google it. Come on, you know how to use a computer. We'll see you next week. Bye bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
You guys, fantasy.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.